What is going on, guys? V Mania here with another division video. This video we're going to be covering my reclaimer build. This is the best support build you could run for your team. The build I'm about to show you. Let me get to a place a little farther away from that radio there. Get some peace and quiet. Oh, here's this guy. Okay. So like I just said, this is the best build you could put together to support your squad mates during PvE or PvP. And wanted to go over the reasons I'm saying it is the best build. Number one, this build is a damage dealer. I have pretty good firearms with this build. Two, I have a nice amount of toughness as well. Might not be enough for PvP, but definitely enough toughness for PvE. Third reason I'm saying it's the best support build is because I have the best stats you can have on the two utmost important skills you can support your squad with. And the fourth reason this build is the best is because it is a reclaimer build and you will be supplying your squad with consumables. Fire bullets, explosive rounds, water, you name it. I do have to warn you that this video probably will be a little long. It's the best build, in my opinion, that I've put together. So I'm going to go into a little bit of detail about how I pulled it off. Maybe swap some gear out. Get some things explained really well there. Also happy that I was able to pull this off before the 1.4 patch drops from the division. And as you guys know, there's going to be a lot of changes. If you don't know, I might put a video out about the changes to come with the 1.4 patch. So let's get into it, guys. So as I mentioned, this is a reclaimer build with two-piece tacticians, and the main reason for reclaimer is because it has been deemed, in my opinion, better than just the standard tactician build, because you can provide your team with good skills with the reclaimer build, and also provide them with consumables as well, like water and fire rounds and whatnot. So I'm running 4 reclaimer pieces and 2 tacticians pieces here. If you take a look at my main stats there, I got 2,900 firearms, 2,800 stamina, and 2,200 electronics. And my main reason for shooting for the firearms and electronics is to proc these talents on weapons. The biggest bonus you can give yourself as far as DPS is unlocking the talents on your gun. So I was able to put this build together, have a decent toughness, have enough firearms to unlock brutal and whatnot, and also have enough electronics for talents such as fierce or ferocious, what have you. So let's jump right into the weapons here. I am using a first wave M1A with fierce, vicious, and brutal, so this is a good damage dealer. I think when I got water activated and I'm on my smart cover post, I crit for about 900. So yeah, I'm not. I won't be the primary damage dealer. I'm not going to put up those high numbers that a sentry build would, but I have no problem taking down an NPC, be it a level 32 or 35. I have no problem taking that guy down by myself. My other gun I use is the self-preserve PP19 that also has restored and hurried. My main reason for using this gun is that self-preserve, and you'll see why in my skills. I don't usually run first aid because of 2 primary ways I'm attempting to support my team. So these are my normal go-to weapons. I do have some backup weapons. I do have a first wave M1A with skilled if I wanted to spam my signature. Since I have a good enough firearms to get kills with this build. My G36 is decent, ferocious, and accurate. This LSW, I need to show light machine guns some more love. Just haven't really liked them too much, even after they're buffed in patch 1.3. I might show them some more love, but this LA6 does have brutal, deadly, and ferocious. So I have damage dealing talents on my weapons, and not only do I have them, but they are all activated, and that comes with having over 2,825 firearms. So it was very important for me to have decent firearms on this build, and that's a good perk for a build that is supposedly a support build. So let's go ahead and let's start off with the skills, because I think those are very important. Let me go ahead and put my pulse on. But my pulse with this build is maxed out. Maybe not as far as cooldown, but for crit hit chance and crit hit damage, my pulse is maxed out, guys, and that's at 45k skill power. Normally, you would max out a pulse at around 57k skill power, so I am about 12k under what's needed to max out this pulse in terms of skill power, and I was able to pull it off on this build. So I am bringing 100% crit damage to my team with the, of course, capped 40% crit chance cap for this skill. The cap is actually 60%. So now this skill power, I mean this smart cover here. This smart cover is also maxed. It takes around 56,000 skill power to max out your smart cover, and I was able to max out my smart cover with 45k skill power, and you're going to see how I pull that off on my gear pieces. But the max is 75% damage resistance, so it's called smart cover damage resilience on gear. I don't know why they messed that up, but you also get the 50% damage buff too. So I am providing my squad with the most important skills needed to mow down PvE content. You know, these level 35 NPCs just melt away when you offer a squad max pulse and max smart cover. And I know that these two skills are definitely on the chopping block for being nerfed in 1.4, but I was kind of happy I was able to max both of these skills out without needing to have such crazy high skill power. So, and my first aid is also a pretty important skill to use, and it's decent. It will fully heal me, and probably takes some triage, some player entering in and out of my heal if that person is running a tank build. So yeah. So let's take a look at each gear set, guys. The overall architecture of this build is, let me see what I have in here. Okay, that's the phone interrupt me. Is having not only 4-piece reclaimer and 2-piece tactician, but having each of those pieces spec'd into a certain category. In order to pull this off, you need 2 pieces from these 6 pieces here, spec'd into stamina, 2 spec'd into firearms, and 1 spec'd into electronics. This is very similar to my Tactician build, only this one is more min-maxed for pulse and smart cover. So if I take off these mods, you'll kind of see my overall architecture of this build, guys. Let me take it all off. Let's see here. So I got my chest piece and my knee pads specking into stamina. I got my mask and my gloves specking into firearms, and I got my backpack specking into electronics. And I got very lucky with this backpack. I got this from a season pass drop that you get, on at the beginning of the month and halfway through the month, and You'll see this backpack in a second, but I got very lucky with this backpack. And of course, you got the 3-stat holster that helps all 3 stats. So as you can see, before I put mods on, I got 2,600 firearms, almost close to unlocking those talents for my weapons. 2,700 stamina, 2,000 electronics. So I'm already starting pretty decent here in terms of stats. So now if we let's go ahead and put these gear mods back on. Let's take the electronics for this chest piece, firearms for that, and for that guy. You know what? I like it when I see less of a difference when looking at gear, so I'm going to put firearms on this and just have that show as 3. Although it should be 1. Yep, there we go. Sorry, I'm kind of nitpicky, guys. But if we take a look at the gear items, I have this Tactician's Authority Vest, and it is giving me 720 stamina with 157 firearms coming by way of a mod and 146 electronics via a mod as well. Major attribute on this guy is armor. The main thing to spec into when doing a build, guys, is armor. And another bonus is exotic damage resilience. I wasn't aiming for that one. I would have liked to see damage to elite, because I probably wouldn't bring this build into the dark zone. But there's your bonus for dealing with sticky bombs. It does has ammo capacity, even though I have Lone Star gear that I switched to restock, so I'm not really cared about that. But the very most important role on this gear, guys, is that smart cover damage resilience. I know a lot of us focus on the main stats, but you can really cap out your skills if you focus on the skill attributes. And you'll see that all the skill attributes I have on all this gear is responsible for capping out either my pulse or my smart cover, or really helping with my first aid heal. So all of these skill attributes that you guys are seeing is me min-maxing to that point. Not only was I looking for main stats and major attributes, but I was looking at skill attributes as well. And I ended up with a fairly crazy build, and I'm claiming is the best support build, guys. So that skill attribute of smart cover damage resilience is a good bonus on this Tactician's chest piece. We go down to the mask. This is also a pretty good mask. I have 907 total firearms, certain percentage from the actual mask, another from the mod. Getting 5,200 skill power from this guy, also a good bonus. Otherwise, I'd be at 40k skill power. And I also have enemy armor damage. If you stack that enemy armor damage, it really does make a difference when shooting at NPCs. I hate that kind of gray background. I'm gonna leave out for a second. There we go. And again, this skill attribute is something useful. You know, I could always use additional first aid ally heal. So I min-max this build on all 3 levels, not just main stats and major attribute, but I took a look at the skills. It kind of helps with that as well. Next, we go down to the knee pads, and I got 854 stamina from this guy. Probably could min-max that up to 900, but I think I have a pretty solid amount of toughness already. The major attribute is armor. That's always a bonus. I would have liked to see enemy armor damage in the minor attributes, but I'm kind of fine with what's there. A big bonus again is that skill attribute. I'm getting yet again more smart cover damage resilience from these knee pads. Now if we take a look at the backpack, I have 858 electronics coming from this guy, 6,700 skill power, like 1,000 off almost on that. But look at those skill attributes, guys. I got post crit hit damage and some more smart cover damage resilience. So you can obviously see how my post and my smart cover is capped. Even at 45k skill power, which is pretty easy to pull off with 2 pieces of Tactician. So take a look at these Tactician's gloves. I got crit hit damage, assault rifle damage, pistol damage, 732 firearms, and of course more post crit hit damage. It takes about 57k skill power to max out post. Only if you have no gear that specs into post crit hit damage. All my gear specs into post crit hit damage, and I wouldn't be surprised if I can max out my post at 43k skill power. I'm not going to test it right now, but I would not be surprised if my smart cover and post was maxed out at about 42, 43k skill power. I would have liked to see, crit hit chance for a major and maybe damage to elites, but I'm fine with those attributes in the major slot. So, and here's my Reclaimer holster. I'm really sad about that firearms roll. I would be sitting at 3,000 firearms, so I would have been able to spec more into stamina, maybe get closer to 400k toughness. But because my firearms roll on this guy is so low, I had to spec more into firearms to proc those talents like Brutal. The major attribute is armor, and my skill attribute is post crit hit damage. More evidence to why my post is capped without having crazy amounts of skill power. Let me check that. Let me take out that guy. Nope, still pretty high skill power. Take out this 43. Let me see where my post and smart cover at. Even at 43k skill power, my pulse is maxed out, and my smart cover is pretty close to maxed out. So yeah, that sweet spot. Even though you have pulse, even though you have smart cover rolled on all your gear, you still got to hit about 45k skill power. So that's the build, guys. I mean the main things you want to shoot for is speccing two of your gear pieces into stamina, 2 pieces into firearms, 1 piece into electronics, having a 3-stat holster, which is mandatory now, and really focusing on your skill attributes. If you can get the skills you're looking for, usually post and smart cover for PvE. If you can get smart cover damage, resilience, rolled on every piece possible, which I pulled off, which is on the chest piece, the knee pads, and the backpack, then you only need 45k skill power to cap that out. If you can get post crit hit damage on the 3 pieces there's where it's possible there, which is your backpack, your gloves, and your holster, you can max out post at about 42, 43k skill power. So this build is a min-max build. It's very hard to pull off. You'll I pulled my hair out kind of looking for some of these pieces. I had a Tactician's mask, but it didn't have skill power, and my backpack was Tactician's as well, so I had a Reclaimer chest, and I just didn't have the skill attributes to pull off this build, and I was sitting at about 60k skill power to max out my skills as a support build. So my toughness did not change. I was able to bring my skill power down about 15k, and I was able to get my firearms high enough to deal enough damage to take out these extremely tough, some of them having 11 million damage, NPCs by myself. So there you have it, guys. If you enjoyed this video, I really hope you did. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you think this build is awesome. I think it is the best PvE support build. I have another video that I'll link to in the bottom right now that tells you what the best PvE build for dealing damage, which of course involves 5-piece sentry. This is the best overall team support build. You can provide your team with max smart cover pulse, you have enough toughness to stay alive, you have enough firearms to deal really good damage. So if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you like this build. In the description, you can find your way out to my Twitter, Twitch. Thanks for watching the video, guys. See ya.